Hi everyone, welcome to the lecture series on Introduction to Ethics in Engineering and Computing. This is Soujanya, Assistant Professor from Vignan University. Now we are going to discuss about ethics. Before going to discuss about ethics, let me ask you a question. How do you decide what is right and wrong when no one is watching? Yes, here by depending that values or that situation, how could you think about your family or society? Based on that, you take the decision. Yes, regularly we make the decisions, but how do we decide? How do we know these decisions all are ethical or not? Yeah, we will explore when ethics really means. Yes. Before going to discuss the topic, what are the contents are involved in that? First, what is that? What is ethics? Definition of ethics, importance of integrity, and the difference between law, ethics and morals. And ethics is in a business world, improving corporate ethics, how to improve that, creating a ethical work environment. These are all contents we are going to cover for our ethics. Next, what is ethics? As a word, that ethics, how do we say? Study of what is right or wrong. How could we measure based on or concerned with moral values or moral behavior and professional conduct? Based on that, we will say that about the ethics, study of what is right and wrong. Okay, next, based on that, we are going to discuss about one example, that is a Google employee refuses to work on a military AI project due to personal ethical beliefs. That is the meaning. What is the meaning? This meaning, for example, a person works at Google, was asked for project on AI. AI means artificial intelligence that could used by the military. Military means army or defense. Those, yes, that technology, that situation, the person said no. Why? The reason for saying no, because that project goes against their personal ethics or moral values. How could they do? That is, for example, they may follow the technology, they should not use it for war or violence. Maybe that is the reason we think about that. Okay, next. Definition of ethics. As academics, how do we say the definition of an ethics? Ethics is a moral principles that govern person's behavior or conducting an activity. That is the definition for ethics. As we consider as an academic, how do we say what is the definition of ethics? That moral principles that govern a person's behavior or conducting an activity. How could we say that? And this how do we pronunciate? It comes from ethos, meaning character. Next, based on that, here we are going to discuss about one example, that is a software engineer at a tech company refuses to write code for facial recognition software used for mass surveillance, saying it some people privacy. Actually, any project or what happened that based on engineers' decisions, That for example here that engineer is going to believe that technology to monitor the people without their consent against their personal ethics. Even though the company is paying them to do the work, they refuse because it could harm society. This is one of the acts of professional ethics. What is professional ethics? What is that meaning? Next class we are going to discuss. Here we need to consider, we need to concentrate if we want to choose what is right over what is profitable. Yes, choosing what is right over what is profitable, that we need to concentrate. Next, importance of integrity. Here till now we discussed what is the word ethics. How do we say the definition of that ethics? What is the content is involved in that ethics? Integrity. What is the meaning? Strongness. Integrity is honesty plus strongness. Honesty and strong moral principles. Based on that, we will evaluate our ethics. Okay. Integrity means honesty and strong moral principles. For example, here in our professional life, they need to build trust, credibility and accountability. Based on that, we are going to discuss one example. Apollo 13 crisis, NASA engineers worked honestly and transparently to bring astronauts home safely. This here transparency and honesty and safety. So what is that? So many engineers, NASA engineers are upheld the values like transparency, honesty and responsibility, transparently informing the crew of danger and prioritizing their safety over the mission success. We are all observing so many times. Yes, this is the one example for that. Next. Here we discussed ethics, morals and laws. How do we say? First, I want to show you as a table a simple example. How do we evaluate that? What is moral, what is ethic, what is law? The difference between that morals, ethics and laws. How do we say? These three words are similar meaning, but the definitions are different. In which situations, which one we are going to use? As a tabular form, I am going to say here feature, that is source, whatever it may be. If that source, moral, how do we find? It's based on our personal values. If we want to discuss about personal values, that is going to be related to morals. And next, society or profession norms. If you want to think about society, if you want to think about society, profession norms, that is ethics. That is ethics. As internal ethics or external ethics are involved. Okay, what is law? Law means is about that legally what happened. If we want to discuss about that particular incident that is related to law, means legally. Legally, how does it do? Government rules. If those are all government rules, means related to the laws. Next, enforced by, that is the morals. What is that? Conscience. And professional body means an ethics. If we discuss about legal system, means that is law. For example, telling the truth. That truth is, if we take it as a morals, self or internal ethics, that is confidentiality in IT, or and here coming to last, GDPR compliance. Coming to next, what is that example? Here just we discussed about the difference between laws, morals and ethics. Based on one example, I am going to clear about that. Here, a doctor may ethically treat a patient's disease, but legally must report infectious diseases. How? How would we consider here? The 3 points are there: personal integrity, self-guided morality and character building. What is personal integrity? Here, no one involved, fairness punishment. Okay. Our self-guided morality means internal justice only, what is right or wrong. Yourself only think about what is right and wrong, not external justice, not just externally or not just external laws. Okay, that is mean by a self-guided, that is mean by self-guided morality. Next, character building. What is that? Character building. How do we say character building? For example, here I am asking one question, challenging you. Think about character building. Do I act ethically? I want to do because I want to do, or because I am being watched. What I am saying here? Here, for example, imagine that you find in a wallet with full of cash, no one is around. What happened? What do you think? Take away? No, here we are going to observe based on the ethics subject or topic. If I return it because that is right to do, that is I am thinking internally, that is an internal ethics. If I return it back because fear getting caught or wants others to praise, I am only thinking those. Why is there someone? My thinking is different. Or there no one? If you want to think about, my thinking is different. Or else without also thinking different. Based on that our values. This is either internal ethics or external ethics is involved. Okay? That is a doctors treat ethically but must legally report infections. How would we say? How would we say? What is ethic? What is law? The difference between, based on that example, how would we say? We are all observing daily. The doctor help the patients kindly and privately. Yes, that is ethics. If that situations is going on, if the disease can spread to others, then immediately doctor should alert. The doctor should inform to the government. That is an law. These are the same, based on that same example, we define what is law and what is ethics. Okay? Next, ethically, regulation, privacy, mitigation of base, transparency, relevance, and legally, governance, confidentiality, liability, accuracy, decision making. Okay? Next, ethics in the business world. In the business world also, why we improve the ethics about our brands? Brand reputation is there. Then, brand reputation builds the brand reputation, ensures the legal compliance, and encourages employee loyalty. If you follow these points, then ethics are built. Okay, next. Based on that, in the company, how would we maintain the ethics? How would they think? The different situations are going on. Based on this example, a company refusing to use child labor even if it's legal in some countries. For example, some countries are encouraging the child laboring, some countries not encouraging. That coming to that, that is a company believes not use the child labor because they believe the children in school only. The children should be in school, not working. This is ethical behavior. If the law allows it in same places, still they do what morally right. Yes, this is a social responsibility also to care of children's take care of children well-being and futures also. We can build as a social responsibility. Yes. Improving corporate ethics. How to improve the corporate ethics? Why? The ways to improve. Leadership sets the tone. Ethics training for employees. Ethics training a need for employees. Okay. And whistleblower policies. These are all involved to improving the corporate ethics. For example, Google introduced AI ethics review boards to ensure responsible development. Here, the ethics training for employees, we discussed the way to improve the ethic in a corporate. For example, the Google created AI. The Google created AI, artificial intelligence, that then situations, the ethic boards to check that is the AI is fair or safety and respectable to the people. Obviously, they shown what they want to build related to the AI based on that ethical values, not just powerful technology. Okay, based on responsible developments. This is the Google introduced in AI ethics. How does impact that? Next, creating an ethical work environment. We are discussing so many examples. These are all going on in our surrounding only. But do you think in a minute, do you think what is ethics, what happened? These are all what I am discussing now. These are all going on in our presence only. That strategies are promote transparency and accountability, encourage ethical decision making, and create a safe space for reporting unethical behaviors. Based on the creating an ethical work environment, these are the strategies. So many are there. I taken these are a company allowing anonymous complaints about the misconduct. For example, if we do the work at some company, anonymous are coming. Here that company is generally the company gives the respects to the employee safety and fairness by letting them report their problems without fear. This is an ethical strong. Involve the ethical strongness. How? Honesty, justice, and create the respectable work environment. Based on that, it may avoid misconduct or anonymous complaints. Okay. Next, summary. Here in that summary, what overall we discussed about what is ethics, how do we follow, how to improve, and based on how what are the contents are involved to improve the ethics. Integrity is the foundation of ethical behavior, morals, ethics and laws. Based on these, serve different purposes but all impact professional conduct. Okay? Next, here for the topic or for this ethics topic, if you want to refer IEEE ACM Code of Ethics or real world cases, these are all you need to follow, then you will understood. A Google engineer refuses to work on a military AI project due to the personal ethical beliefs. Here my question is, in that presence, if you are in that presence, how would you think? Do you think the engineer's decision was ethically right? Why or why not? How would you say? Analyze that. Thank you.